Hey there guys, this is Robin Hood, and today I am bringing you some Napoleon Total War. You guys can look at all the people in the game. There are quite a few, and I almost certainly won't have time to read them. But this was a 4v4 on grassy flatlands, and this is the absolutely epic battle I have been telling you guys about for a while. So, this video, it is a 4v4, and while it did progress rather quickly, I have no clue how long it's going to be, so if this does not have a part 1 or part 2 in the title, then it is short enough for me to fit in one video. And if it does, expect the other episode to be uploaded within a few hours. Probably the next morning, because I'm uploading this about 15 minutes after I finish actually commentating it. But it takes a while to render the clips, so it'll probably that's terrible wording, probably be uploaded tomorrow, if it is in fact 2 parts. I'll determine that once I see how long it is. But, real quickly, Mikenuge was my friend in this battle, as in all of them, and he's on the left here, and we'll see how well... I mean, I have an excellent computer, but with this many troops on the battlefield, when the smoke starts going, I did not have any lag issues at all while actually playing this battle, but with recording it does take a chunk out of the FPS, so we'll see how it goes there. But basically, my army, I have 5 of these Prussian Fusiliers, ton of musketeers, looks like 4, 5, 7 of them, and, well, is that right? 2, 3, 4. Make that 4 and 4 foot guards, and then my cavalry, which is a Cuirassier, Brandenburg Ulan, and Lancers. But this battle is interesting because this ally here, he brought like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual units, and they're not even expensive. These two are. The rest of them really aren't. They're, I mean, he just didn't do anything, and he quit the battle immediately. At this point in the battle, he has already quit. Hence the random square. I have no clue what the AI is doing. So essentially, we've got this tiny amount of troops, so not even a full AI, can't talk at all, opponent here. And so it's almost a 3v4, essentially, here. In terms of people, it is. And this guy over here, he was, I forget his name, but he actually was very cooperative, and since Mike and I were over there, we were communicating with him, and he's gonna come over this way and hold my right flank at kind of an angle, because it's easier for that to happen than these two to come over here. And it's kind of interesting, our guy, that barely brought anything, his opponent brought a ton of infantry, and without him to stall this huge mass of infantry is going to cause some serious problems because we're undermanned, and there's no skirmishing from this guy, just 2 units to actually stop it, and Austria over here can't do much because Britain has a full army. You can see here, he brought a ton of light infantry though. So he's got some line, mainly lights, and that's a ton of skirmishing power, then all this cavalry. And Spain's got a ton of cav too. Over here, my British opponent has 2 rifle units, which he's going to use that range advantage to really kind of skirmish with me. And here Mike's kind of going on a charge, which I told him not to go on, but he's going to do it nonetheless, and his cavs going to get shot up. So yeah, that was failed, but this guy is just gonna do the classic tactic of firing and running back, and at this point I'm trying to get into range to fire. You can see he's running away. We're not gonna get a shot on these skirmishers, a full volley, until quite a bit later, and 1 or 2 of our units will, but I mean, like, you know, a full skirmish engagement across the line. France here has a ton of cavalry, and he's got even more back here to back it up. And basically, let me pause for a second. Britain has a ton of infantry, all this, and France has a ton of infantry. So this is what Mike's fighting. But notice how, while there are 3 of us and Austria is moving over, this AI is just kind of moving around. It's not really going to get engaged for a while. All of these guys, all of them, The French main line here, most of it's going to fight Mike, but about half of it, all of this army, which obviously I'm facing, and most of the Spanish army, and then later the British army, everyone is going to converge on me. Why they picked to do that, I'm not sure. It actually helped our team because it allowed us to later flank them. But now you guys get to see what's going on. I'm pulling back some, trying to allow these guys to get over, and here comes the first wave of massive cavalry charge, and I'm going to go ahead and withdraw my lights. They're going to get to fire, or not get to fire. I could have waited a second longer and let them fire, which might have been smart. They definitely could have gotten off the shot, but I didn't know if that was going to happen or not. But my line is doing a good job regardless, shooting these men down. But the thing with this cav charge, and look at that, British shooting down tons of their allies' troops. This square, you know, yes, I'm killing this guy's cavalry, and it is hurting him, but the thing is, it really kind of messes up my lines. Now, I squared everyone, just because it was the fastest thing I did. You know, I just selected my units and hit square. But this cav's going to be causing some problems, and now the rest of my line, I'm trying to manage that and this, and these guys are running around being a pain. And this guy's running forward and skirmishing, and here we're kind of getting a volley off, and he's going to immediately run away once more. And, you know, it's just that kind of deal. These guys are hopeless to defend, but I'm going to send in my Brandenburg Uhlans to try to stop these guys. And Mike has some skirmishers helping as well, but this cav charge just kind of caused a ton of problem, and that's not even the end of it. This here is my cavalry. But I'm going to be hit by more cavalry at a worse time soon. Here comes all the British cavalry now, and 5 more regiments of French cavalry are lining up, and what do you know, Spain's also got quite a bit of cav, and I guess cavalry hates my army or something. But that's how it's going to go. I'm going to withdraw my Uhlans here so they don't get overextended. Some of them are straggling. This poor guy probably going to get shot. Or maybe not. Maybe he'll be lucky. And over here, my army is shifting once again. You can see these guys actually allowed Austria to line up, and my general actually went down. I forget how. I think he ran forward when I was shifting my army by accident, but at this point he's just a father. Why am I saying father? I mean to say fodder unit. So there's once again a word fail. I don't know why I am epically failing today in that, but I'm too lazy to redo this commentary. And this here, are these my troops? I feel like those have to be my cavalry. Yeah, that's mine. One of these has to be, this is my unit, because mine are more beat up than Mike's. Mike's getting a good charge here, and my cuirassiers are following through. And I shouldn't have charged the same unit. That was a mistake on my part. I should have hit these rifles over here. They're the only ones giving him the skirmishing advantage over here. These are friendly Austrian troops, and the British cavalry is kind of meandering about in the center of the field, which is not smart. But pretty soon here, the full-out engagement's going to begin, and it's going to be epic. Was just all the preliminary stuff. You can see France here kind of shifting about. They're moving all my direction, so Mike's going to be able to swing in on a flank, but everyone hated me this battle. There's all this cav, and look at this. This is just a ruckus in the center. So there's all this British cavalry. Our cavalry's holding out. Now all this Spanish cavalry, more British cav, and Austria's running his cav back because he realizes it's doomed. Ours is surrounded. No way it's getting out of there. So basically, I'm just going to let them go down. Hopefully, I'm moving up my lines so that I can get some shots into all that cav. And we're rushing forward here, bringing up my reserve foot guards. Got some more over here. What's left of my general unit. And look, you can see this AI is just being dumb. These guys are still in a square. Yeah, that was... AI is stupid. But at this point, they're disorganized due to their own cavalry movements. Here comes France. They're actually going to open up the battle against me. Mike has moved up and is catching this disorganized flank. And he he's really going to have a pretty easy time of this battle. He's going to kill off these 3 or 4 units and then just start moving down the flanks of the armies. But look, here comes more cavalry into my lines. Here, those guys are coming in, and over here. Thankfully, I had my foot guards. He's not going to break that square. But the thing is, while he's losing his cav, it is disrupting my men. Not as badly as earlier, though. And these French, I don't quite know what they're doing. They're melee charging. So these guys not playing as well as they could have, especially, like, what is this unit doing? It's facing this direction and shooting at men over there. I don't know. So France here is definitely not holding up his part, and he's pretty much getting annihilated. See, he has troops way over here. No need for that. But, so now it's pretty much one opponent down. He's still got some forces here. We're mopping them up. The only problem is these skirmishers are picking away at me, and because of this cavalry, you can see I'm just reforming my lines, trying to do as much as I can. They've got actually a slight rise, it looks like. Doesn't affect much, but it's just disrupting me and allowing his men to shoot me. And here comes just the massive Spanish horde into the battle. They're lining up, and they're going to engage soon. And why everyone once again decided to centralize on me, not sure. And here is even more cavalry going to slowly move around the flank, but that is a ton of cav there. So cavalry is not done yet in this battle. You can see my centers trying to hold. So far we're doing fine. This skirmishing is being annoying, but our men are shooting down these poorly managed French. And over here in the melee, we seem to be winning. I've got some foot guards in, and looks like Austria sent in some cavalry here. Hussars. There's some French on the flank, but we have foot guards here to hold them off, and an 8th Life Regiment right on their flank. And I did actually bring one of those. I don't know where mine was. That might be mine. I'm not sure. That might be Mike's. That's almost certainly mine, actually, because Mike's army's like this. So you can see this flank has collapsed, and look, where these 2 armies were, there's almost no bodies. The field in front of me is starting to fill up pretty heavily, starting back here. I've pushed forward, but all the cavalry, this huge mass, and over in here, and it's only going to get worse by a lot. Here comes Spain, and they're approaching in a pretty bad formation, but they've got a ton of men. I don't know exactly what they're doing. They seem to be like strangely charging. Here comes Spanish cavalry. My foot guards are once again going to try to hold, but I do have Austria to back me up in this fight. And look at this massive horde that my foot guards have to hold against. There they are. Spain is here, and at this point, this part of the battle is kind of quiet. Mike's over here. He's sending some guys around back to support that. But I barely have any units here. I have like 3 pretty beat up ones. Mike's on the flank. That's actually one of mine that ran forward, and now they're being withdrawn. And these guys on the flank of that mass there. But pretty soon here, I'm going to advance on the British because they're still a threat to the front. And with Mike's help, we can push in on all of that. And over here, they're starting to engage him, but he by far has the superior force on this flank. So you can see these guys are going to start to drop, mainly in this unit, it seems. Over here, meanwhile, Britain on this side, stacking up on the left. That unit still in square. Don't know what they were doing. There's all that British cav. And Spain here, making a very large blob. And our foot guards doing their best to hold. And boy, are they going to hold for a while. See all this fighting. See all the fire in the background over there. And here comes another Spanish surge. Some of our men going down, some of theirs, but our men are just going to be overwhelmed.